There's more to do with this evidence before we can process it. Not the right tool for this. We've done all we can do with that item. We've done all we can do with that item. We've done all we can do with that item. We've done all we can do with that item. I'm starting to wonder how anti-violence Craig Landers really is. The striations on the spent bullets are similar, but not exact, to those found in Everston's body. This is not surprising. Since our adapter clearly didn't shoot him, we need to find the actual adapter to confirm it.
I wasn't keeping track. Best guess, 1 a.m., a little after. Call it 5 after. Shouldn't be too hard. There's security cameras in the lobby. Can't you check those out?
That tells us what time you were in the lobby, but what else can you tell us?
Well, I remember I watched a pay-per-view movie last night. That's something the company doesn't pay for, by the way. Gotta cover all incidentals ourselves. Anyway, I've got the receipt right here.
Revenge of the Psycho Blood Mutants. Brass could check that out on the security cam footage. Looks like this area is clean. Way to be thorough.
I'll get my boys to start searching for it immediately. Check back later. The security chief at the Sphere says their videotape puts Andy Penmore returning at 1:08 a.m. and staying put. Maya didn't get in until 2:15, giving her a half hour to do who knows what. With the hotel connected to the convention center, she has opportunity, all right. She's on her way to interrogation now.
We have security video showing you getting back to your room half an hour after you left Craig's. Your hotel room is less than 5 minutes away. What, you stopped to gamble?
No, I'd already gambled enough going for a one-night backseat stand. In fact, I sat at the curb and just held my head in my hands and thought about my life and my kid, and I said I was human. A tired human who let go for once. Fresh air felt good. I didn't threaten his ass. He was pushing too hard, and I told him to back off. That's no threat.
So when you say, keep pushing and I will push back, you meant that in the nicest way.
All I meant was, clean up your act, or I'm out of here. I'm a professional, but I'm human, okay? He was unprofessional, and would not let the hell up, so I snapped back. That's one of those bad things about text messaging, you know? You wind up writing things you'd never say. They had a lot of history before I got there, you know? Like, they had tension sometimes, but there was also a bond. Almost like they could read each other's minds or something. By the end of the project, they were mostly staying out of each other's way. And, you know, maybe I'm out of line for saying this, but I don't know why Stan trusted the guy. Word around the office was, Andy's an old-school hacker.
What kind of old-school hacker?
The kind who likes to break into stuff. Recently, I let him install a version of Gut Wrench 3 on my computer. Only since then, my machine's been working really, really slow. Andy says he did nothing, but I think he accessed my files. No. I know Craig wanted his job back. Maybe my looks and charm weren't the only thing Craig saw in me. Maybe he also wanted to know about the state of office politics. Anyway, in his car we were griping about Stan, and Craig told me he'd try to talk to Stan back at the convention center, but that it hadn't turned out so hot. Listen, these video game guys, they're kids. Eternal kids. Well, I'm not a kid, but I do have a kid, a 10-year-old, who I like to see now and then on the rare occasion, and as a single mom facing week after week of extended periods of crunch time, well, enough's enough. It's just not worth it. How about a boss who demands everything and doesn't appreciate anything? A micromanager who changes his mind with the wind and saves up the biggest changes for the last minute. The smallest concern, the biggest ordeal imaginable. How's that for a complaint?
Anything else?
Well, Stan would go on and on and on about needing to get real, to bring the gritty reality of combat into not just the game, but my campaign, while dealing with a media backlash as well.
So how can you reason with a guy like that? You tried at the gun club and it was like shooting blanks. So you decided to shoot him with something else.
And here's where I break down, right? Under your expert interrogation? Sorry. I hated the jerk. He was driving me insane, but I didn't kill him.
Actually, no, but I should be soon. Stan promised me a piece of the corporate pie because of my stellar work on Gut Wrench 3. It's not supposed to happen till the game's complete and on the shelves. And that'll be delayed because of this tragedy. We didn't have anything in writing, but there were witnesses to our oral contract. But I'm not the only one who was promised a payday. Let me give you a different file, one that I think you'll be more interested in. It's on my PDA.
There's more to do with this evidence before we can process it. We've done all we can do with that item. Let's see what Doc Robbins has to say about this.
The bruising patterns match up to these markings. Also, the bruise had a very large white blood cell count, which only happens when the person hit is alive.
That means this ring struck Stan Everston before he died.
Sure. Let's bring in the guy whose ring matches our Vic's chest.
Well, you tell me, detective. I let all of them, Maya, Andy, even Stan, fire my gun that night. Any of them could have screwed with it. Hey, you don't think one of them's trying to frame me for this thing, do you?
Well, I think we can safely rule Stan Everston out, but I can see why you'd be pissed at Stan the man. Cancels your pet project, fires you, and keeps ownership of a company you built as much as he did.
Every game company has conflicts between the creative and business side, okay? Producers like Stan don't look at a monitor and see the energy and the brilliance that go into a great game. All they see is a damn spreadsheet. He didn't hold a gun to my head and make me sell my intellectual property to him. That was my stupid fault. Well, during the party, Andy told Stan that there were new bugs with the game, and Stan, being the predictable control freak he was, had to go there and hunt down the bugs personally. He would have stayed there all night if he needed to. Not begging. Look, it was all business for Stan, and I was talent, and damn good talent. I figured he'd be able to look past our differences and see how I could positively impact his bottom line. And, hey, I admit, I thought that maybe after Gut Wrench 3 came out, we could revive Fuzzy and Bill again.
How did that go over with Stan?
Not so good. I pushed too hard, and we both said things that old friends should never have said. He said LZP had outgrown me, and I accused him of bad-mouthing me in the industry to where I couldn't even get a low-end job. I admit it. It got a little ugly. I accused him of exploiting every worst instinct in the gaming market, selling violence and sex, made all the worse by killing the very game that could have provided a fun alternative. And if he wasn't going to do Fuzzy and Bill, couldn't he at least sign it back over to me? He just laughed.
So that's when you threatened Stan? Hoping to scare him into giving you Fuzzy and Bill back? He didn't back down, even when you touched him. He took it, and then ripped your shirt as you fled. But you went back for your gun instead. With Stan gone, LZP would turn to you. You'd put the company back on track.
You got it half right anyway. I took a swing at that prick. And I'm guilty of getting my butt kicked by the guy after. I just picked up what little was left of my dignity and I went back to my car. That's everything I know.
I've divulged everything I can think of.
I can't think of anything else for you.
Looks like this area is clean. Way to be thorough.
She's on her way to interrogation now.
That's all I have to say.
We've done all we can do with that item. We've done all we can do with that item. Let's run this evidence by brass. Press coverage of Gut Wrench 3 is tied to Maya Wynn's payday. The bigger the media splash, the bigger her bonus. However, note that it was encrypted. Andy didn't just get this forwarded, he hacked it. Let's run this evidence by brass. Let's run this evidence by brass.
I can't think of anything else for you.
I've divulged everything I can think of.
He's on his way to interrogation now.
That's everything I know.
Hey, looking for a hint? Hey, glad to help. As long as you realize that it'll count against you in your evaluation.
She's on her way to interrogation now.
From day one. It was part of the job offer that convinced me to sign up with LZP. I had offers from 2 other companies. Both bigger, you know. But this was a real opportunity to make my mark. And a box of money.
Why would a marketing person rate bigger money than the creative side?
Marketing is king in the entertainment world. And the game industry is an increasingly bigger part of that world, with marketing campaigns that run to the millions. More sometimes than goes into the game themselves. A great game that sits on a shelf is a flop. A weak game that flies off the shelves is a win.
And we're looking at a crime scene that seems designed by a marketing whiz. Aimed at generating a lot of press. Vic posed like the body on the game's poster. It's genius, really.
And here you are with a sweetheart contract tying national press to your bonus. Nicely done, Ms. Wynn.
With your expertise as a competition shooter, you know all about weapon adapters. Then you heard about Craig and Stan getting into it, so you seized the moment, killing your pain of a boss, posing him for the inevitable press coverage, placing the assault rifle just right, though leaving a nasty little print behind. Then back to your hotel room.
You're right. The killer did me a favor. And I'll probably make money because of the way that crime scene was staged. But I didn't stage it, and I didn't kill Stan. But maybe I can help you. Why don't you take a look at a file I downloaded for you about Andy Penmore? It's on my flash drive. You might get somewhere with it.
Let's run this evidence by Brass.
Catherine gave me the heads up on this development. Our convention center security pals used a metal detector around where that cell phone was recovered. Here's your adapter. Oh, you're gonna love this. Turns out both of these items were within 30 feet of Lander's car.
Good job. Next stop, ballistics lab.